Hey there, Max here. Here for my first video, which, let me get a few things out of the way first. I'm sorry that Monday's video came up on Tuesday. Parker had some problems with exporting. He had that up on Twitter. It is up now. It's working fine. We'll try and get things done earlier than that. So anyway, my topic today is on Homunculus, or Homunculi, however many you want. And I chose this because Parker did their video on amnesia, which the Gatherers are a pretty similar idea to Homunculi. They were created by the Lord of Brennenburg Castle, Alexander. And Homunculi, in essence, the simplest definition of them are it's what happens when man plays God and creates life in his own image. Most commonly, this is seen in things like Fullmetal Alchemist, which Ed and Al go and create life. But usually, the origins of it are a little more occult. Strange. It started in the 16th century, was the first record of the use of the word homunculus in a text that described them in the preformatist idea, which is where a man's sperm actually has little men inside the ends of it. And if you got those little men out, you could incubate them in a woman, or in some cases a horse stomach, and feed them blood, and they would grow into a smaller version of a man. Now, for a while, homunculus were just thought of as smaller versions of men, and like minions almost, familiars, but in a man-shaped rather than an animal or a spirit. And from there, they've grown into, they've been referenced constantly throughout the last, 4 or 5 centuries now? And they've grown into a bunch of different definitions. There was the original definition, which was little men. Then there was the alchemical definition, which you could create something, and that's you would create a life, almost like Victor Frankenstein, stitch together dead bodies. That's not quite a homunculus, but it's a similar idea. Homunculus are used for psychology for the most part. There's different forms of homunculus for representing different ideas in people's minds. I have them up on the computer screen. You probably can't make them out. They're generally depicted as little men relating different parts of the brains and brain activity. And they have enormous hands, feet, and genitals. Homunculus are kind of weird. I'm sure you've picked up on that by now. And they're used for diagnosing patients or used as memory tools for various activities that psychiatrists will have their patients go through. They're also used, as I said earlier, in different forms of entertainment, such as Fullmetal Alchemist, or the manga simply called Homunculus. Or they're also in video games, Valkyrie Chronicles, for example, or in tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm sure there's plenty of other examples. So, homunculus are man-made creatures. The idea came from the 16th century. It started a little weird, then we got into the alchemical version. They've always been linked to the Philosopher's Stone, because that was thought to be a key ingredient in being able to create life, because it was this all-powerful thing that could transmute metals and give people immortality. And if it gives something immortality, why wouldn't it be able to bring something back to life? And it could bring something back to life, why can't it bring something to life? Basically, reviving a dead person is the same as giving a dead object life, provided it was able to actually live in the first place. You can't make a rock have a face. Homunculus, as a creature or an idea, are very similar to the original idea of a golem, which was basic materials, clay, sand, metal, wood, stone, given life. It's similar to that, but it's actually an organic creature given life, usually again in the form of a man. So to recap, a homunculus is a created life made by man in man's own image, usually to do some work for them. It started out as a weird idea of how sperm worked and grew into an alchemical idea, meaning it was related to alchemy, and specifically a lot of the time the Philosopher's Stone. That's the second video so far. Hey, congratulations. This one might go up on time. Sorry about that again. And on Friday we will have Christian to talk about a movie. I don't know which one yet. I'm being kept in the dark. Thanks again. See you next Wednesday.